Good morning. It's Thursday, the 24th, I think it is, of July. I just left Grand Teton. Well, I've just left Colter Bay. I don't think I've left the park yet. Just stopped because of that view. There's the Grand Teton mountains. But I had a good night there, the campsite. The campsite is huge, but they have allocated spaces for hiker-bikers. They have 10 spaces, and they were very helpful getting you there and sorting you out and have all the facilities you need. It's great to have a shower. Had a giant pizza, which I could only manage half of. So it's going to be pizza for lunch, dinner, and whatever for a little while. Met some other cyclists apart from Brian and Tom, who were there as usual. Julian is doing the west to east across America from Germany. And then there's John, who started out quite recently. Who's doing a bit of the GDMBR. Anyway, so it's a bit of a later start, but just because of proximity to civilization, you get sucked in. Extra coffee, cinnamon roll, all of that kind of stuff. But it was nice. It's just a nice morning. Anyway, we've got a big climb today, up and over. So that starts at mid-morning, lunchtime, and it'll take the rest of the day, which is not going to be, it's not hard. So it's a good day ahead, hopefully, as always. Currently climbing a slightly easier part of the Togwotee Pass, which is the big challenge of today. It's 16 miles of climbing from the base of the climb to the peak. I think maximum gradient is going to be like 7%, so not awful. It is beautiful, absolutely, and the surface, I've known worse. This is not too bad. So just past the 6 mile mark of the climb. 10 miles to go, and it's taken me an hour and a half to do those 6 miles. I don't know if the pace will be consistent. At some point I'm going to stop and have some lunch, but anyway, patience, effort, and not being too concerned about going very slow at certain points is how I get my mind around climbing this. Anyway, here we go. So here we are at the top of the Togwotee Pass, Continental Divide. Elevation 9,858 feet. And I feel like I've climbed every single one of them today, but I haven't actually, not today. The last 9 miles were on the road, on the highway. It's so smoother, but some very steep bits anyway. But it's a very great achievement, sense of achievement, sort of feel, to get to the top of it. I think it's the tallest highest elevation I've been so far on the GDMBR. So yeah, I met John, who was camping with us last night. He's not doing all the route, but joined not far. I passed him earlier on, and then I stopped at Togwotee Lodge for some lunch, and he appeared within like 15 minutes. So he's got pretty strong muscles in those there legs. Very impressed with his climbing ability. So now to see what happens next. We go off-road again for about, I don't know, 10 miles more, 15, and then join this route again. The ACA route has flirted with this road on and off all day. And then we'll find out what kind of accommodation they can get after that. So all part of the adventure. It has threatened rain. There were some drops. That's as much so far. But yeah, having a great time. So once again, we're off the highway, heading in a loop down to a lake here. Fantastic views of distant mountains with ice on them and forests in between. Interestingly, just after my last conversation about getting to the top of the Togwotee Pass, I was looking at a sign about the Continental Divide and what it all meant and so on. And a truck pulls up, and a guy says, "Have you seen a bear?" And I look at the truck, and it's Forestry Service bear management, and he says, "There's a grizzly bear about. You know, it let its 2 cubs go a couple of weeks ago, and it wandered around. It's been reported within the last 15 minutes, been in the area." And I said, "No, I haven't seen a bear." So we had a long conversation. The guy, he'd been to England once. His son was keen on, going to sites for the Second World War, so he'd been to Normandy and so on. Anyway, I said, "Can I take a photograph of your van or your truck? Because bear management is not something we have a big call for in London." So I took a photograph, and he drove a wee bit away to the other part of the kind of lay-by, and then he signalled to me to come to him. He got out of the truck, and I went over with the bike, and the grizzly was down in a kind of meadow in the area around there. So we had a look and had a chat about it. I had to take some photographs. Obviously, it doesn't work out very well on an iPhone, but so there you go. Grizzly bear in Wyoming. Tick that box. Another fantastic and interesting day on the Great Divide mountain bike route. It's just incredible. What a vista down there. See for ages. It's got a combination of everything, isn't it? Impressive. Mountains, forests, rolling hills, meadows, off into the distance. Archetypal mountain environment, I guess. The scale of it makes it special. So glad to be here. It's amazing to think, I'm actually standing here looking at it. Incredible. It's Friday the 25th of July. I'm about to leave Falls campground and head off to climb Union Pass today and see where I end up at the end of that, hopefully at another campsite. Yeah, so I had a good night's sleep here. It, as I said, poured with rain in the early evening. Well, after everything was packed away and I'd had my meal and so it was fine. Beautiful sunshine this morning, not a cloud in the sky. Yeah, it's going to be a tough climb, very steep, lots of it early on today. So about 30 miles in, the climbing should have finished, but that's probably going to take until early afternoon, I would imagine. Anyway, so that's the job today. It's going to get hot eventually, but yeah, it's been a good night here. Yeah, well rested, ready to go. So, on the first climb, that leads up to a bit of a plateau with some mini peaks before we then do Union Pass in earnest. Good thing is that this first climb and the climb to Union Pass are very similar in terms of profile and distance. So far, this one has been very even and not too steep, which is great. Still fairly early in the day, so not yet blisteringly hot, and a bit of a breeze blowing, and it's great actually. So Brian and Tom I met at the bottom of the climb. They'd camped down there where there was a bit more than an informal campsite. There's a bit of toilet and bear boxes and stuff. So yeah, so we're kind of leapfrogging each other as we head up the climb. And I met a South African guy going northbound who was, as he calls it, slack packing. So he's doing the ride, but his wife is nearby with a camper van and stuff, so that's very nice. Nice to talk to him. He gave us some useful intel for the route ahead, so that's great. Hi there. Do you need a hand?
No. I think we just got it.
Oh, great.
He needed horse's name. He needed a hand, but we managed it. That's so big right now. He looks so good. He looks so good. He's just like, can I help? Can I help? Let me see what you're doing.
When you guys went your ETA on the Mexican line?
So I'm just coming off the third of the mini peaks between the two big climbs, and that was definitely the steepest one. Some hike a bike required at the beginning. So yeah, a bit of a descent now, and then the big climb up to the plateau. So yeah, so we're making good time, for sure. Well, I made it to the top of Union Pass. Continental Divide as well here, and the Continental Divide Trail meets up here. It is a bit windy, as you can tell, and it's been a real struggle to get over there. About halfway through, I had a real hunger bunk. Completely ran out of energy, so I had to stop and eat a couple of slices of pizza left over from Colter Bay, which I was very happy for. But I got my energy back, and I made it to the top here. So, and John is about to join me, and then we can see what lies ahead for the other, I don't know, 33 or 34 miles to the campsite. Hopefully, nice rolling, easy terrain. Famous last words, of course. Still coming across the plateau from Union Pass and descending now to what should be the campground. Got to the top of the Union Pass just before 3, around 3. It's now 12 minutes past 6, and in that time we've done about 24 miles. So it's been up and down, and the surface has been terrible. Because although it's now a downward gradient, there you can't get any speed up because there are potholes and chunks of stone sticking straight up that you have to avoid constantly. So, and washboard. So it's very, very laborious and requires a lot of concentration. But it is part of the whole deal. It's certainly improving my bike handling skills considerably. Anyway, we'll get there eventually. Cattle guard. Okay. Good evening. It is Friday night, the 25th, and I'm at a Whiskey Grove campsite. You can probably hear a very fast flowing river in the background. It was a very, very hard day today. This was my target. Brian and Tom are here. I'm not sure where John is. We parted company on the descent of the Union Pass after we got to Union Pass in the end. So yeah, it was very, 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 very rough terrain after we'd summited Union Pass. So we had double whammy of a lot of height, a lot of elevation. We've gone quite long. It's 63, nearly 64 miles that I've been today. Yeah, so yeah, everything. So it was a very, very hard day, but I mean, enjoyable, fantastic scenery, lots to see, great sense of achievement of doing that. Yeah, and eating my meal and comfortable, and that's all good. One other negative of the day, however, is I managed to lose my satellite tracker. So it was in a pocket on my front pouch, my front kind of roll up where I keep all my tent equipment and stuff. And I keep it there so I can keep an eye on it, and I know it's there, and I check the battery and everything like that. But it's not actually, it was never fastened in. So on one of the many violent bounces today, it's popped out, no doubt, and it's sitting somewhere on the trail, looking like I've put my tent up somewhere out there. So yeah, I'm going to have to sort that out. Tomorrow I'm heading for Pinedale, a town with bike shops and things. I'm not sure what else it's got, whether it's got places you can buy other satellite trackers. Maybe not. Anyway, don't have internet access where I am here, obviously, and cell access, so can't tell anyone. Don't panic. I'm not marooned by the side of the road. Yeah, so I'll have to deal with that tomorrow when I get to civilization. It's one of those things. I should have taken greater care of it. It's my fault. Otherwise, it has been a good day, even though it was been very tough. The toughest one, I think, for the whole tour so far. But it's very nice to arrive at the campsite and find Brian and Tom here. Yeah, and they were happy to see me, so that was nice. Yeah, and it's a beautiful location, of course, as ever. US Forestry Service campsite. So it's about 33 miles, I think, to Pinedale tomorrow. So that shouldn't be long. Hopefully get that bashed out in the morning and get a hotel, get everything clean and sorted out, and that'd be nice. Looking forward to that. Anyway, that's another day. All the best for today. Bye. Saturday morning, the 27th, I think. Is it 27th? Something like that. Let me just check. Oh, 26th. I'm at Whiskey Grove campsite and just about packed up and ready to go. Heading for Pinedale today. Hotel tonight, luxury, and get a lot of things sorted out, and see if I can find another satellite tracker device in Pinedale. Either that, or I'll have to wait into a bigger place later on. But certainly I need to let everybody know not to panic. My tracker has stopped out there somewhere. So after Pinedale, I reckon it's 4 days to Rawlins. And that will be halfway. That'll be quite an achievement. So yesterday was pretty brutal. But, you know, it was done. It was good. So hopefully today's a bit of a restock, resupply, reorganize, get clean, get shaved, all of those kind of things. On all part of the trail. See you later. So about 4 miles from Pinedale, and on some nice flat roads, rolling country. So another moose, quite close this time. Having difficulty getting through the fence, but I made it. And I saw my first pronghorn of the trip. Apparently they migrate to this area from the south. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to getting to Pinedale. I'm going to take the bike to a bike shop, get them to look at the gears, which aren't changing perfectly in the middle of the cassette. Checked into a hotel and motel, get things washed, get things charged, eat. I'm very conscious I've lost quite a bit of weight, even though I'm eating as much as I can. So anyway, enough about that. It's all part of the plan. It's all part of the adventure, things you have to watch out for, plan for, think about. Cloudier today, so not quite so hot, which is very pleasant. So yeah, current situation. Good morning. It is Sunday the 27th of July and I'm just leaving Rivera Lodge, where I stayed for the night. John, one of our travelling companions, joined me and we met up with Brian and Tom in town as well. So half day yesterday, really good idea. The moment we got here, got niggles sorted out with the bike, which are very straightforward. Laundry, shower, food. I got a replacement satellite tracking device, so all good, and I feel really rested and refreshed. It was a lovely place here, very, very nice. Very hospitable. Big breakfast this morning, so I feel really ready to go. So 4 days ahead to get across the Great Basin to Rawlins. Averaging about 55 miles a day, but we're going to have to sleep in we're going to have to camp in informal campsites. The four of us are kind of on the same schedule. John is very pessimistic that he won't be able to keep up with us, but well, let's see. Anyway, so off we go. So, just after 10 o'clock Sunday morning, and already ridden 27.5 miles, which is half the total planned for today. And that's because it's all been on pavement, although that's about to come to an end. It's been no climbing really to speak of at all, quite level, very straightforward. I'm sure that is not the full story of the day, but it's been a very bright start. So heading south from Pinedale, a little bit east from time to time as well, and heading for the Great Basin, which is this elevated dip, a basin literally, where water that falls in it stays in it. So unlike Continental Divide, where rain either falls towards the Pacific and runs off towards the Pacific or the Atlantic, the basin grabs it and holds it. But There aren't any settlements there, and water sources are fairly sparse, so you have to just plan your days. It's about 130 miles, so we get to that seriously tomorrow afternoon when we pass the final little town, Atlantic City. So that's the prognosis for today. Very quiet. Just insects. No birds because there aren't any trees. So I've just had my lunch here behind this very nice rock because it's got shade on the side and a little breeze blowing, so it's perfect. So it was a nice break. 41 miles plus in. Just about nearly finished. The only significant up bit to get onto this plateau. Wind River Mountains are in the distance there. They look fairly close to me, but probably pushed away by the camera. Elsewhere, there is very, very little. It's very flat. Surprisingly, the road is quite busy. Lots of people coming and going. Yeah. So I don't know if those Wind River Mountains are the same ones as featured in the film with Jeremy Renner. Anyway, who knows? I could probably look it up and find out. So, still making good time. It's about 1 o'clock. So about 14 miles to go to where we were thinking of camping tonight. It's another 20 plus miles after that to the next place you could camp, so it's a tricky one. But who knows what the road is like between here and there. Hello there. Hi Tom. Fancy meeting you here.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. A gorgeous afternoon looking across the Wind River range. Up and down, but good. Here comes Brian, listen to these podcasts. So it's been nice today. We've been able to kind of catch up and ride overlapping with each other for quite a while. Listen to Bruce Springsteen podcasts, having chats. It's a very, very nice day today. Not too far to go, probably another 8 miles or so. Yeah, very early still to make camp, but it's the best thing to do for today. Pace ourselves for the next 4 days. Woohoo.
So,
What's...
do you see that big brown bull over there?
Hello. It is Sunday night, the 27th of July, and we are at Lander Creek, 53 miles from Pinedale, where we set our form this morning. We made very quick time initially, and then things got a little more difficult, up and down, washboard, gravel, all sorts of stuff. But we got here very early. We were here before 4 o'clock, and all set up. So it's Brian, Tom, myself. We rode quite a lot of the day together with John as well, but John hasn't made it this far. We don't know where he is. We left a message on the road, a big J and an arrow, so he wouldn't miss a turning, hopefully, if he's going to come. So we're in cow pasture land, but beautiful, beautiful, beautiful rock formations everywhere. It's stunning, absolutely stunning. Tomorrow we head into the basin, Great Basin. We're going to go through Atlantic City, which is the last small town before that, and then camp tomorrow night at a place called the Antelope Well, which is a water source, because the water sources are the big issue, as well as the wind with the basin. But there's no problem with the water, as you can hear and see at Lander Creek here. Yeah, it's been another fantastic day. It's a beautiful evening. Scattered clouds very high up in the sky. There are hundreds of cattle stretched all across this large valley. Wherever there's water, they're chewing away. So all is well with the world. And we think we've probably seen the last of grizzly bear country. And it's probably wolves, coyotes around here. So yeah, we're taking precautions with the food. But another great day on the divide. It's just amazing to be here. Crossing trails with ancient, very old trails that are here before Europeans ever came to this part of the world. And then the trails that Europeans used to get to the west through here. They're marked here as historical trails, and we've been crisscrossing those as well today. So yeah, brilliant day. So looking forward to a good night's sleep and another day riding through the basin tomorrow.
You don't even have to wait for us.
Okay. Good morning. It is Monday the 28th of July. And the sun has finally come up. It's 5 to 7 in the morning. There's the sun. So it's lovely and warm where it's hitting my legs. So we're all packed, just about ready to go again. It is absolutely spectacular location with the sun changing the color of everything, the beautiful rocks behind us. The cattle have been incredibly noisy. We had heard a lot of coyotes during the night. Just a bit concerned, I was anyway, at times, where the cows would suddenly decide that they were going to move quickly between one location and another, but they've been fine. We've all got along well. So I think this is just one of the most amazing places we've camped. So yeah, Brian and Tom are here. So the three of us are here. Our other traveling companion, who's been with us for quite a few days, off and on, John, didn't make it to camp. We left a sign on the road for him to find us, but maybe he didn't make it this far. Well, we'll catch him, I'm sure. So today we're going into the basin for sure. So we're going to head to a place called Atlantic City, a small settlement, 30 or so miles from here. Hopefully get some lunch there, and then it's another 27 or so miles to our camp spot by a water source called the Antelope Wells. So that'll be our first foray into the basin. And then we've got 2 more days to get to Rawlins through the basin. Just have to manage our water very carefully. But anyway, we're looking forward to a spectacularly wonderful, beautiful day on the GDMBR. Still got about 8 or 9 miles to go to Atlantic City. Starting to get into the environment of the basin, the kind of what you expect. Just kind of emptiness, rolling emptiness. So we've still got some rock formations left over from the tail end of the Wind River range. But we're in that transitional area. Still beautiful countryside. Backcountry off the highway, which is great. Yeah, a lot of pronghorn around this morning, running across the road, standing there looking at you and then taking flight when they don't like the sound of your wheels on the road. Well, I'm here at Carissa Mine, just above a tiny little place called South Pass City, which has apparently been Wyoming's longest inhabited settlement, I think. It was once, in the gold rush days, Wyoming's second biggest place. Wyoming has a population of 500,000, by the way, today. So this mine has kind of been in use up until 1949, boom and bust. So there was a boom, big boom here, which established the place, and then it came and went as technologies came and went and became less profitable to dig in, harder to reach seams of gold. Anyway, yeah, it's fascinating, and you can get tourists inside. So if I had the time, and it wasn't on my bicycle trying to get to the border with Mexico, it would be a good day outing. But onwards, and food and cold drink hopefully await. Just climbed out of Atlantic City. Very steep exit from the town. Spent 2 hours there with the gang, all 4 of us together again today. John, Brian, Tom, myself. We all had burgers, fries, lots of drinks, and 3 of us had the German chocolate pie, which was yummy. Got some resupply as well. And so we've got another 22 miles or so to go to our camp spot for this evening. But that represents kind of the end of civilization as we head off into the basin. The last store and cafe, restaurant type place. So yeah, that climb was hard going, but it's all part of it. So maybe it'll be slightly less stressful. Just gentle rolling up and down for the next 22 miles. But let's see. Well, here we are at last in the Great Basin of Wyoming. 130 miles between Atlantic City and Rawlins, and a few water sources, but two that we're aiming for to camp at. So in about 15 miles, I guess. The Agnes Well for tonight, and then the end of tomorrow, the A&M Reservoir, and then the following day we should be into Rawlins. So it's great to be here because it's a kind of iconic, notorious part of the route. Obviously you need to be careful about water, and there's headwinds which could slow you down, and it's a particular landscape. But it's great to be here and actually see what it's like in person. It's kind of what I imagined. Rolling a bit, quite gentle. There's a fair bit of headwind at the moment. I'm heading southeast, so it's coming from that direction. The mountains are very distant now, so really what you're seeing is a series of very almost flat rolling lands. Yeah, and it's very warm. It is very warm. Yeah, so it's great to be here, even though it is obviously challenging, and yeah, it requires pushing the pedals. There's not much up and down, so there's not much freewheeling involved. But it's great to be here. It's fantastic. Yeah, it's all part of this great adventure. Every single day is a different experience. Hey. Greetings, fellow travelers. How are we doing? Good. Found the well. Well, etc., etc.
I think you just keep the cows out. Shouldn't keep the deer out. No.
So we're at the Agnes Well, and it was 25 or so miles after Atlantic City. So we've done about 55 miles today. It is yet another amazing place to finish the day in camp. So as all four of us are here, Brian, John, Tom and myself, we've pitched our tents. We've been filtering water from the well. We've had deer wandering around, a very big rabbit wandering around as well. And the sun, as you can see behind me, is going down. And we've got beautiful pink, orange light across the sage. So we're 7,000 feet above sea level, a mile high in this desert. Yeah, it's just a remarkable place to be, and it feels amazing. There are one or two birds around, but there's no bird song. It's very quiet. Lovely colours. There are higher mountains on the fringes of things, but mostly it's just empty space everywhere. Yeah, so a lovely, lovely day again. Yeah, it was hard work on the road at times. You know, there was this washboard and ups and downs and everything like that. Tomorrow we got another 55 or so miles to go to the next kind of prominent water source, which is the A&M Reservoir. So no doubt that will be different. Yeah, so mostly levelish and slightly downhill. No big climbs involved, but I'm sure there'll be drama on the road. But it's another great day, into another great day on the GDMBR. Night night.
Well, good night, everybody.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, the 29th of July, and we're at the Agnes Well, about to depart. All packed up, ready to go. Brian's gone already. John and Tom are getting their stuff together. Mine's all ready to go. We've packing extra water today. We've got 55 miles to the next campsite or camp spot, which is the A&M Reservoir. We're expecting a hot day as usual, but it's mild at the moment. Breeze blowing, that's the wind that we have to watch out for here in the basin. Changes direction quite frequently, and if it's against you, it's hard work because there's nothing to shield here from the effects of the wind. So that's one of the big topics. And the surface of the road, we don't know what to expect either. So we don't know how long 55 miles are going to take. Anyway, let's get going and see what the day has in store. It's 10 past 6 in the morning, heading out for a ride through the Great Basin of Wyoming. We're starting early to try and get as many miles completed before it gets too hot or the wind gets too strong. So let's see how that goes. Beautiful light, sun coming up. It looks very similar to how it set last night, just a different part of the sky. So there's some oil extraction activity happening here in the basin, as you can see around me. It's quite kind of eerie, these unmanned machines operating at this particular pace. just kind of very slowly pumping oil out of the ground. And the buildings are all painted in a colour to kind of match the environment. It's like this, I don't know, browny, greeny, grey. Yeah, it's fairly, as industrial interventions go, it's fairly benign, I think, on a visual level anyway. And certainly it doesn't seem to involve, you know, scars on the landscape particularly. Yeah, so it's 8:25 in the morning and done 16 miles. So yeah, reasonable progress. The sun has been up for a while obviously, but it's not yet very hot. So and the wind is around, you feel its presence, but it's not been difficult. So all good so far on this kind of main middle section of the 3 days we're spending in the basin. Yeah, we should get over halfway through today.
Water?
Pardon?
Got plenty of water?
Oh yeah, thanks. Got extra on here as well. Thank you very much. We're heading for the A&M reservoir, so.
Right. Were you with the guy in front of you then?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I offered him an orange. He didn't want it.
Orange?
You want an orange?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take that.
All right. I
Fresh.
can get out of here.
Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, that's an offer I won't refuse. That was the guy driving that grader towing the truck. Just had a conversation with him. Lovely man, Jimbo. And he works here grading the roads in a very big area. And that's his truck behind. So basically he goes to where he's going to work, does the grading there, and then drives the truck back to his camp, where he's got a camper set up. So that's fantastic, really, really good. And he gave me an orange. Very kind man. There have been loads of motorbikes on this road this morning. So that's two going the other direction for a change. And he answered the question I've been asking. We asked ourselves, what causes washboarding on these roads? So basically it's people driving too fast on newly graded surfaces with fine material on. That's what causes it. And it's the bane of his life as well. So that was lovely, really enjoyed that. That's a really good man, nice man to talk to. That's one of the things, he spends all his time by himself, so he's happy to have a conversation and very generous with his time. And a delicious, cool orange, that was lovely. All part of what makes this great. Being somewhere that I'm completely unfamiliar with. Meeting interesting people. Yeah, fantastic. So it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're all safely here at A&M Reservoir, but there has been a storm threatening for the last few hours to the north of us on the other side of the reservoir, and we're battening down the hatches, not knowing whether to expect a massive storm and winds. We've already got winds, so everybody's got their guys out. Yeah, but at least we're here, we're all here. John was the last one to arrive. He had a bit of an adventurous journey. It's quite interesting how we encountered the same people over the course of the day and kind of have different experiences with them. So yeah, people offering us drinks and food and things like that, having conversations and so on. And Brian encountered thousands of sheep, and none of us saw them at all. So that was a really weird thing anyway. So the four of us are all safely here. It's going to be an interesting night. Tomorrow we make the final leg out of the Great Basin and arrive in Rawlins, and that's going to be a very significant event when we get there, so that's going to be great. Hopefully we'll survive the night and not get blown away. I think we'll be fine. It was a strange day today, really, the ride through the basin. It was very monotonous, I suppose, in terms of landscape. Wasn't much of interest. Certainly, obviously, there's no settlements, towns or villages or even people living anywhere. But that was today, the 29th of August. Not August, July. Tomorrow will be the 30th. See you then. Good morning, here I am by the lake, well, the reservoir, A&M Reservoir, the day after the night before. We had great drama yesterday evening with really violent winds. It was so tough. John's tent got completely flattened and he went off to a nearby town called Bairoil, where the local community church offer accommodation for cyclists and hikers, and we find out they also offer food, sustenance and tent repairs and equipment, because A&M Reservoir is known for the violent winds that destroys people's tents. We didn't know this in advance, especially where we camped up there. It was very exposed, so yeah, that would have been useful. Anyway, in the end, Tom, with his very skillful first responder training and experience, advised us all to move to a sheltered spot on the other side of the reservoir, which was what we did, and he helped us get sorted out. So that was fantastic. Really great to have someone like that as part of the crew. Yeah, it's really excellent. So we did get sorted out. We did get 3 tents pitched right next to each other, and safely. Good night's sleep for everyone except for Brian, unfortunately, who couldn't quite get enough space, and we were a bit too cramped next to each other. Anyway, so we're all packed up and ready to go again. The only other thing that happened to my tent actually was that one of the joints on the frame broke, so I've lashed it up. It's a temporary repair, which works fine, but it does make one of the tent poles very long, which means it doesn't fold away very well, so it may be a problem. So that was a lot of drama, One of those things where it's a big crisis at the time, and you don't know what's going to happen, unsure of things. But maybe as perspective of time, it's a story, and it was serious. We were sitting in our tents, kind of holding them up, and wondering what was going to happen. But anyway, it'll diminish in significance presumably over time. But it was great to be with the guys, and really so happy to be part of such an experienced bunch that really helped me get through that. So that was really good. So we've got 55 miles to ride to get to Rawlins, so it's not insignificant ride first. See what time we get there and how we can get sorted out later on today. So that's the morning update on Wednesday the 30th of July. Making good time, so about 12 miles gone already in an hour, which is pretty good going. So today's the last day in the basin. It is what it is. It's interesting, very surreal, different. Yeah, I'm glad we're not spending more than the time we are here. Yeah. Interesting features are hard to find. Rolls, sagebush everywhere. It's interesting to speculate why the yellow plants grow by the road. I think it's probably to do with the water washing off the road in rain, irrigation. Anyway, yeah, so good time. Hopefully the road continues downwards, good surface, and we get to Rawlins in good time today. That's the plan. So, really interesting chat there with a gentleman who came out of the house opposite where those prefabs were. That was filming a minute ago. He said he's pushing 82, he's retired there. He's got 40 acres. Glenn Baker's name is. He's telling me all about why there are properties around here. There were uranium prospecting back in the 70s. And the end of this, the reason why this pavement, this road has been made is to service a Rio Tinto uranium mine, which is away at the other end to the west of here. Didn't see. So he's coming out to repair potholes in the road. The mining company doesn't look after the road, so that's what he's doing. He seems very happy, content. I mean, by himself, miles from anywhere. Well, I guess he's about 30 miles from Rawlins if he's got a vehicle. But anyway, it's amazing who you meet. If you allow yourself the chance just to stop and chat, people are so friendly, so keen to talk. Yeah, absolutely amazing. Great. Good evening. It is Wednesday, the 30th of July, and I'm speaking to you from Baymont Hotel in Rawlins, and it is a significant day because it's past halfway of the route of the GDMBR, and personally I am thrilled to have got this far. It's amazing. I never thought, well, I suppose I didn't have confidence I could do it. It's very, very good for me that I feel like my body has been able to adjust to cycling every day, up to sort of 60 or 70 miles. Although we have tried to keep it around the 50, 55. And so I've done 15 straight days of cycling at this point. Although I've done 28 days out of the 30 cycling, so that's quite a lot. And to get halfway within the month of July it's bang on target. So yeah, I'm very happy, very, very happy to have got here. And night in a hotel, got my washing done, got some resupply, had some nice food with the guys. Yeah, it's been a great, great day. It was tough finishing off the basin. A headwind for a large part of the day. 15 miles on the highway, big climb, but it's all part of it. So tomorrow we're off, heading south to Colorado, leaving Wyoming behind. We've got quite a big day tomorrow, actually. So we've just seen sort of 5,000 feet of climbing potentially at the course of the day, and in the mid to high 50s miles. And then the day after that's going to be a shorter day to Brush Mountain Lodge. So yeah, beginning to get the detailed plans in the next stage together. But it's been absolutely fabulous. It's great traveling with Brian and Tom. Yeah, we're kind of on the same trajectory. So yeah, we don't ride at the same speed, but we overlap during the day and meet up in the evenings at the same location. And it's been great chatting, getting to know each other, and yeah, shared experience. It's really nice. So that's another day on the GDMBR, and yeah, nearly the end of the month, the beginning of a new one. See you tomorrow.